Good day and welcome to another Truth, Knowledge, and Light. I'm Joseph L. Williams, and I'm coming to you on today in these platforms and these sessions just to discuss various issues in hopes that we as a people can grow together. Allow me to set this up by telling you that in the West, there are the big three as they're called in the realm of philosophy: Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Plato was the mentor or teacher of Socrates, and Socrates likewise was the mentor and or teacher of Aristotle. They were all Greeks, and all of them were influenced by each other, but many consider Plato to have been the most brilliant. Not only was he a philosopher, but a brilliant mathematician. Plato had a particular allegory, and it was called the allegory of the cave, to where he describes and writes the state or the process of human enlightenment. And I want to share that with you. He says that human beings live as if they are in a cave, shackled, with their faces towards the wall. He says that the mouth of the cave is at the rear of those shackled individuals. And as the sun shines at the opening of that cave, it casts shadows on the wall. Now, being that these people have been living here for their entire lives, the shadows that are created by the light is perceived to be the reality of that person from that vantage point. Until one day, one of the prisoners breaks free. He runs out into the light, and when he gets into the light, he realizes that what he thought was real was not, but it was just a shadow. He runs back on the inside of the cave, and he attempts to explain to the others who are in prison that what you're saying is not real, it's just a mere shadow. But the issue is, those who are still in the cave, it's difficult for them to understand that because they are still in that vantage point. They have not been exposed to the light. You see, that is the state of humanity. When you look around, when you see the culture that we live in, when you see the things that are most important to us, when you see what we put on our list of priorities, paying the rent, making as much money as we can, getting gold, diamonds, relationships, getting women, getting men, whatever it is that's important to us, all of those things are mere shadows that are fueled by the ego. Your ego is nothing more than your identification with this physical reality. And what happens is your ego, or the two dichotomies of yourself, the spiritual side of you, the part of you that experiences dreams at night, and the physical part of you, your higher self and your lower self. Your higher self is your spiritual side. Your lower self is your ego, your personality. Okay, both of them have needs. The needs of the ego is to eat, to have sex, to feel good, to make money, to seek status, recognition, to be considered important. All of those are needs of the lower self, the ego. Okay, those are the shadows, you see. Those are the things that seem as though they are important to us, but they're not. But the authentic need of the higher self is to love and to be loved unconditionally. That's all we authentically desire, all of us. All we want is to love and to be loved. Let me explain what happens. What happens is, when a person's higher self is out of alignment with his lower self, it develops a problematic personality. Every person that you meet with a problematic or a splintered personality has a misalignment of their lower and higher self. The reason why athletes can't retire is because they're holding on to their sense of worth through the ego, through that fame. That's not authentic. They feel appreciated and a sense of worth because of the fame and the numbers that they're able to accrue on a field. That's why it's difficult for famous people to walk away from that business or to leave it. That's why sometimes when you find people who just can't, who embrace aging so difficult, from a difficult perspective, they lie about their age. They say they're 30 when they're really 40. They have the same birthday each and every year because their sense of worth has been defined through a shadow, you see. That's the ego. You see, that's what Plato is saying. He's saying, you see, when you are living your life to seeing those things that appear real, how beautiful I am, how much money I have, how important I am, all those things are shadows on your cave. It's a matrix. You have created your own reality. But see, when you are exposed to light, you realize that those things that you thought are important really are just shadows. And see, that's when life becomes worth living, when you can be freed from the matrix, when you can be freed from the worry of aging. That's in Christianity and Buddhism. Buddhism believes that in order to eliminate suffering, you remove the need of it. Let me explain. When people grieve every year because they're getting older, the way you remove the suffering of a birthday is when a new birthday doesn't affect you. You remove that desire to be young and you embrace aging, not as something that is bad, but another year that I have grown. Okay, you must learn how to expose the light to every situation, to where you're not looking upon things that aren't real and putting all of your energies into something that's just a mere shadow. So what if you're single and not married? Do you still not feel a sense of worth because you have not accomplished something that society has morally considered to be appropriate? Of course not. Stop fueling those shadows. They aren't even real. If you grow up without a dad, that does not mean that your life is doomed. That does not mean that you are a nobody. Quit chasing and fueling the shadows. You see, whenever we do not feel as though we have been loved, the best way to feel loved is by loving someone else. That's how the civil rights movement was considered successful, because it was rooted in the authentic expression of love. And that's what all of us want. We want to be loved, and we want to love unconditionally. And you have to learn how to not allow your love to be ego-centered. You see, when my love is ego-centered, it means that I can only love people who love me because I'm still relating to the me, myself, and I, me, ego. As long as you're my friend, I'm going to love you. That's inauthentic love. Authentic love is when I can love someone who doesn't love me back. When I can speak kind words to people who dog me out when I walk out the room, you see. When I can stay committed to someone even if they cheat on me. True love is a love that does not have conditions on it, you see. Okay, I invite you to reflect upon that allegory, that timeless classic of the cave, to where you're able to expose the shadows of your life that you thought were real, that were important to you. The quest for money, the quest for sex, the quest for an excess of things, position and status. Quit chasing the shadows. Expose yourself to the light. When you expose yourself to the light, you'll see that those things that you thought were real were just shadows on the wall of a cave that you created for yourself. Until next time, I'll see you.